Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I just wanted to do a little bit of an intro before we get into the intro of the video, if you know what I mean. It's kind of like a prologue? Yeah, sure. Prologue. I want to explain a little bit. So this video I recorded mostly in February, a little bit in March, and I read a book. And in the video, about halfway through the video, I'm assuming, I start talking about reading some other books for this particular vlog. I did not read those books for this vlog. I ended up DNFing one, a soft DNF, and then the others I just didn't read. So this book is fully on oh my goodness. This video is fully on Jane Austen's bookshelf um, by Rebecca Romney. If you want to watch this, it'll be great. But I do mention other books that I'm currently reading in this vlog, and I say that I'm going to be reading it for this vlog. I'm not, so just know that. So I hope you enjoy the video, and give me a like and subscribe if you do like it, and if you like the vibe or whatever, and that's it. On to the video. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Cheryl. Thank you very much for joining me. If you're new here, hello, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Hi. Excuse the lighting. It is currently almost 7:30 p.m. and I have my light off. I just have my little lamp on, so that's why it's looking kind of weird. But anyways, I hope you don't mind. Hello everyone. How are y'all doing? I hope you're doing well. Happy Valentine's Day week. Um, I typically don't celebrate Valentine's Day just because I'm not in any relationship. I've never been in a relationship during Valentine's, so that's something. But anyways, um, I don't feel like reading a romance, but I decided to start this vlog today. It is February 10th, by the way. And I am currently doing a different vlog. But then I started reading another book, because of course I did. And I wanted to talk about it. So we're doing another reading vlog corresponding with the one that I'm reading now. Hey, you don't care. Anyways, I am reading Excuse the Glare. It's a library book. It's got the cover thing on it, but it's Jane Austen's Bookshelf by Rebecca Romney. I believe this won the Goodreads for 2026 in nonfiction, not 2026, 2025 in nonfiction, and I'm very, or might be, yeah, I think it was nonfiction or biographies, one of them. I'm very much enjoying this book. So sorry. So, have I read any Jane Austen books? Well, technically, I've listened to Persuasion audiobook once a few years ago, but I really didn't pay attention to it. So, can we say I read it? I wouldn't say I have. I know the stories of all the books. Basically, I've seen all the movies. I know the basic stories, but no, I have not read any Jane Austen books, technically. But I'm fascinated with Jane Austen herself, and I've been reading up a lot, not a lot. I've read, what was it called? Jane Austen at Home by Lucy Worsley. Really enjoyed that book. It is a biography of um, Jane Austen, written by a historian, a very quite famous British historian, Lucy Worsley, and I really enjoyed that book. It was written in very much like a fictional kind of tale. You forget that it's like really did happen kind of thing. But this is not about that book. This book is about the books that inspired Jane Austen to write. So it says in the beginning of the book, I'm on page 62 already, and it says in the beginning of the book that there's about 40 years where, okay, I got this wrong. Basically, it says that Jane Austen is kind of quoted to be the first woman writer in classic literature. But in her books, she references other women writers and other books written by women authors. So there's about 40 years where the women authors um, of classic books back in the back day um, were kind of erased from history, and so we learn about them through Austen's books because she references them quite a bit in her books, which I never noticed. But I mean, I've never actually read her books, so I know that was a dumb joke. But yeah. So right now I'm reading about Frances Burney, who is a romance author that Jane Austen loved. So I'm really enjoying this book. The writing is really well done. It's very informational. It takes a bit of brain power to get through it, but it's not like it's accessible is what I'm saying. Like you can read it and basically understand what she's saying. It's not like scientific or anything. I mean, not that a book about a biography is scientific. Like, okay, I'm not making any sense. I am so tired today. Story time today. I was so tired. I had like 3 naps today. They were only about an hour long, but that's 3 hours of sleeping. I was so tired today. And I looked after Rosie for part of the day, and I just wanted to sleep. It was horrible. Although she did come in my room this morning and we snuggled, which is a good step because since my landlord's girlfriend moved in, she hasn't, Rosie, the dog, if you don't know, hasn't wanted to come into my room, specifically into my bed. So, she came in this morning after I fed her breakfast and snuggled with me, and it was beautiful. It was wonderful, but I did sleep. So I am very tired. My brain isn't braining right now, but I mean, if you know me, you know that that's kind of normal for me. If you watch my channel, you know my brain doesn't brain a lot. Anyways, um, that was a whole side quest, but I am reading this. I'm just gonna read some more of it right now. Um, I don't really have a lot to say other than it's very interesting. These authors, like Frances Burney, you don't really hear about, and it's just nice. It's the author. I'm going all over the place. I'm sorry. I'm not even finishing my sentences. That's how tired I am. Rebecca, if you're still here, that's wonderful. Thank you for joining me. That's wonderful. You're a true one. Anyways, Rebecca Romney decided to write this book. Um, she is a book collector, like a not a book collector. What is she called? Book dealer kind of thing, where she sells like first editions and stuff like that. And she found a book written by one of these authors. I think it was Frances Burney actually, and it started this whole um, deep dive into books that were referenced in Jane Austen's books. So that's how this book came about. I'm really enjoying it. Frances Burney, I just started reading about her, and the fact, I mean, I'm going to go into a little bit of spoilers, so if you don't want to know anything about this book, skip until this time. Um, but I I like the fact, I mean, she wrote, when was it she wrote? Hang on, I read this a couple nights ago and I forget. Right? Oh, wait a second. Um, they also reference another book that I actually have as well. What's right over there? The Last Memoirs of Jane Austen or something like that. 1871. No, that's not right. That's talking about Austen. Anyways, Frances Burney wrote Evelina, which I kind of low key want to read now, and it became very, very popular. And her dad was like against women writers. They were called scribblers back then, women writers, because women can't write a book. um, I'm not even going to get into that. But he was very much against it, so she had to keep it a secret. So she only told her siblings. And then she got her book published and became very popular. And she was so scared to tell her dad that she was a scribbler. And then when her siblings ended up telling her dad, and her dad, it was so beautiful. I wish I can remember. I wish I had a copy of this that I could just like um tab. Even though I've never tabbed a book, I would love to tab this book. But there was, let's see if I can find it. Hang on. Okay, here we go. No, you know what? It's gonna take me forever to find. But basically, the father read the book and cried because it was so beautiful and was so happy that his daughter wrote it. Like, it was beautiful. I love that. So, yeah, I am on page 62. I'm going to do some more reading now, and then I will probably not come back tonight, but I will talk to you later in this video. So stay tuned and cue the montage. Hello. It is currently 4 p.m. on the 13th of February. I was just reading I've read for about an hour and 20 minutes, and I was reading Jane Austen's bookshelf. Of course, that's what this video is. And I am really enjoying it. First of all, the author talks a lot about her rare book business and her collecting, and I love seeing into that. I think it's kind of funny how she says things like, it was only $500, and I'm like, okay, I get that books, like first editions of classic books, are very expensive, but only $500? I wish I had $500 to spend on it. Anyways, beyond that, I'm moving the camera a bit, I'm sorry. Beyond that, I'm really enjoying it. So the last chapter I talked to you about, we were learning about Frances Burney. I really enjoyed that. I don't remember a lot about it, but I did enjoy it. And then we read about Anne Radcliffe, which was, I don't know why I say we as if we're in this together, but we're in this together, I guess, okay? So we read about Anne Radcliffe, and that really got me wanting to read Udolpho, which is by Anne Radcliffe. Or was that by Frances Burney? Now I can't remember. But I really wanted to read Anne Radcliffe. No, she wrote Udolpho. Udolpho. I don't know how to pronounce that. Half the stuff in this book I don't know how to pronounce, but okay. I feel kind of dumb sometimes reading it, but I'm really liking learning about the past and about writers of this time. Anne Radcliffe was iconic, and that's that. And then we started reading about who is it? What's her name? Hang on. We are on chapter. Hang on. We just started a chapter. Maybe I started. Okay, hang on. Let's find out where we are. We started Charlotte Lennox, 1729 1804. And I'm really liking her. She was this author's favorite author that she read from for research for this book. And I am really enjoying learning about her as well. I think she was very iconic as well. I don't have I don't have the fancy words to say how I feel about everything. There's parts of it in everyone's story of all three of these women and Jane Austen as well, that get me riled up and upset because women were treated so badly. But I just came across this part, and it's it my gob is smacked, okay? Because I can't believe people actually believe this. So here it says, quote, I present an excerpt from a 1786 treatise by French doctor, yes doctor, and politician. Quote, because of their natural weakness, greater brain activity in women would exhaust all other organs and thus disrupt their proper functioning. Above all, however, it would be the generative organs which would be the most fatigued and endangered through the overexertion of the female brain. End quote. Oh my goodness, that was a doctor that said that. Like, I can't use my brain because I may not be able to have children after I use my brain. It just, that, that bothered me. Modern translation, women who use their heads may become infertile. Exactly. Like, holy cow. I am so pleased that I live in this era where women are starting, mind you, to be appreciated for who we are and our brains more than our bodies. Like, I appreciate that. We still have a long ways to go, but I'm so glad I didn't live back then. That's all I can say. Although back then I wouldn't have known any better, so would it have made it? I mean, inside I would have known I was smart and I was intelligent, and it would have been frustrating not to be able to show that side of me. So yeah, I'm glad I don't live in that time period. Anyways, I'm gonna do some more reading. I'm really enjoying this. Like, I'm really enjoying this. Um, the rare book collecting side, I'm actually enjoying more than I thought I would. Her details to describing the books and how they smell and how they feel and the looks of them. Like, that's really interesting. And I love learning about these 18th century women, and I'm just I'm I'm loving it. So I'm gonna read some more. I'm on page 138 now, and there are a lot of a glossary or whatever. Not a glossary. What's it called? Yeah, glossary. Is that the word? I don't remember. I got A's in English, but do I remember anything I learned? No. So let's see where. Okay. There seems to be about 330 pages or so. So I'm going to try and read another 100 pages today. I'm really enjoying reading today. My eyes aren't that bad, so I'm really liking it. And I'm going to do that. So, yeah, where did I put my bookmark? I have this bookmark. It says, she believes she could, so she did. That just seems the perfect bookmark for this. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Hello. It is currently 4 p.m. on the 13th of February. I was just reading I've read for about an hour and 20 minutes, and I was reading Jane Austen's bookshelf. Of course, that's what this video is. And I am really enjoying it. First of all, the author talks a lot about her rare book business and her collecting, and I love seeing into that. I think it's kind of funny how she says things like, it was only $500, and I'm like, okay, I get that books, like first editions of classic books are very expensive, but only $500. Wish I had $500 to spend on it. Anyways, beyond that, I'm moving the camera a bit. I'm sorry. Beyond that, I'm really enjoying it. So the last chapter I talked to you about, we were learning about Frances Burney. I really enjoyed that. I don't remember a lot about it, but I did enjoy it. And then we read about Anne Radcliffe, which was, I don't know why I say we as if we're in this together, but we're in this together, I guess, okay? So we read Anne Radcliffe, about Anne Radcliffe, and that really got me wanting to read Udolpho, um, which is by Anne Radcliffe. Or was that by Frances Burney? Now I can't remember. But I really wanted to read Anne Radcliffe. No, she wrote Udolpho. Udolpho. I don't know how to pronounce that. Half the stuff in this book I don't know how to pronounce, but okay. I feel kind of dumb sometimes reading it, but I'm really liking learning about the past and about writers of this time. Anne Radcliffe was iconic, and that's that. And then we started reading about who is it? What's her name? Hang on. We're on chapter. Hang on. We just started a chapter. Maybe I started. Okay, hang on. Let's find out where we are. We started Charlotte Lennox, 1729 1804. And I'm really liking her. She was this author's favorite author that she read from for research for this book. And I am really enjoying learning about her as well. I think she was very iconic as well. I don't have I don't have the fancy words to say how I feel about everything. There's parts of it in everyone's story of all three of these women and Jane Austen as well, that get me riled up and upset because women were treated so badly. But I just came across this part, and it's it my gob is smacked, okay? Because I can't believe people actually believe this. So here it says, quote, I present an excerpt from a 1786 treatise by French doctor, yes doctor, and politician. Quote, because of their natural weakness, greater brain activity in women would exhaust all other organs and thus disrupt their proper functioning. Above all, however, it would be the generative organs which would be the most fatigued and endangered through the overexertion of the female brain. End quote. Oh my goodness, that was a doctor that said that. Like, I can't use my brain because I may not be able to have children after I use my brain. It just. That bothered me. Modern translation, women who use their heads may become infertile. Exactly. Like, holy cow. I am so pleased that I live in this era where women are starting, mind you, to be appreciated for who we are and our brains more than our bodies. Like, I appreciate that. We still have a long ways to go, but I'm so glad I didn't live back then. That's all I can say. Although, back then I wouldn't have known any better, so would it have made it? I mean, inside I would have known I was smart and I was intelligent, and it would have been frustrating not to be able to show that side of me. So yeah, I'm glad I don't live in that time period. Anyways, I'm gonna do some more reading. I'm really enjoying this. Like, I'm really enjoying this. Um, the rare book collecting side, I'm actually enjoying more than I thought I would. Her details to describing the books and how they smell and how they feel and the looks of them. Like, that's really interesting. And I love learning about these 18th century woman, and I'm loving it. So, I'm going to read some more. I'm on page 138 now, and there are a lot of a glossary or whatever. Not a glossary. What's it called? Yeah, glossary. Is that the word? I don't remember. I got A's in English, but do I remember anything I learned? No. So let's see where. Okay. There seems to be about 330 pages or so. So I'm going to try and read another 100 pages today. I'm really enjoying reading today. My eyes aren't that bad, so I'm really liking it. And I'm going to do that. So, yeah, where did I put my bookmark? I have this bookmark. It says, she believes she could, so she did. That just seems the perfect bookmark for this. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Hi, I don't remember the last time I updated you on this video. I'm recording like several videos at the same time. But let's do an update anyways. So I don't know if I mentioned in the beginning of this video that I want to do this full video on Jane Austen's bookshelf, that book, or if I said I wanted to read 2 or 3 nonfiction, but I've since decided to read 3 nonfiction. So here we go. I have read a bit of all 3. So we'll start off just getting it with Jane Austen's bookshelf. I don't think I've read any since last time I updated you, but I don't honestly remember. I'm on page 194, and there are 353 pages. So I'm really enjoying this. We learned about the lady, I forget her name already, but the lady who wrote The Female Quixote, and I really enjoyed that. I'm intrigued about these women authors, these female authors that have gone forgotten, that have been forgotten. I'm really enjoying learning about them. So I'm hoping to finish this today, but we will see. And then, moving my camera, I'm so sorry. Then I started reading Agatha Christie's Secret Notebooks by John Curran, not sure how to pronounce that. This is a really neat book. It has actual notes from, I'm trying to find one, hang on, from Agatha Christie. Okay, I know there was one before there. I can't find it. I lost my page where I'm at. Oh, I do have a bookmark in here, I think. No, maybe not. I don't have a bookmark in here. I read a few chapters. So I'm really enjoying this. Oh, this here is part of her writing. So it's shiny because it's a library book, but see, that's part of her writing. So this book spoils apparently a lot of her books. It does say at the beginning of each chapter what books are spoiled in that chapter, which I appreciate. I have watched all of the Pro TV shows with David Suchet, and I know I've seen a lot of the Marvel movies, so I'm not really that worried about being spoiled. So I'm really enjoying this. So this has John Curran, who went to the house where was the house that I was going to say Ella Montgomery, wrong person. Agatha Christie lived and wrote some of her books, and he went there and talked to her, was her grandchild, great grandchild, something like that. He's an adult now, and they found a box of notes, and so he's going through them. I'm just at the part where he found the notes, and they're talking. Oh, here's this. So there's her actual notes. So it's very interesting. One thing I found interesting is and even he mentions it, is that the earlier on notes, her writing is very messy and kind of eligible, whatever the word is. You can't read them. And as later on in her life, her writing became better, and I could read it and understand what she said, which is funny because you would think that as someone gets older, their writing gets worse. It was kind of funny. It was like opposite for Miss Agatha. So I'm really enjoying this. And then I am reading Paris. This is my Kobo. If you saw my, hang on one second. Hello. Look who joined me. Oh, Beaky on. So I'm just looking after Rosie for a little bit. She's wearing a cute little sweater. So I'm just looking after her for a bit. Say hi, Rosie. Yeah. Anyways, as I was saying, um, you would have seen by now. You would have seen by now my video talking about the Kobo I got and a bit about what I'm reading on it. And I'm currently, how far am I into this? I'm 19% through Paris by Paris Hilton. It's a memoir. Oh my goodness. And I'm really liking it. It is told in a lot of run-on sentences, a lot of, she has ADHD, and she calls it out right in the beginning. She says, I'm writing this like I talk. So it's very run-on with lots of dashes, a lot of random things thrown in, but I kind of resonate with that because that's how my brain works. I don't write like that. I do write, and I don't, I I know how to structure a sentence and stuff. Um, but my brain works a lot like hers. So I have ADHD as well. So I kind of got used to the way she wrote, and I like it. It's not stream of consciousness to that point, but it's very just kind of, she just says what she wants to say, and that's that. I'm finding her backstory. I mean, if you're my age, you probably remember her in the 90s and early 2000s when she was a teenager, and the scandals that broke out about her, and the things that the paparazzi and media said about her that I fell for. I was a teenager as well, and I thought she was a bratty, um, bad girl and troubled teen. And so this book goes into depth of why she was the way she was and why she is the way she is, what really happened, and I am finding it very informative. I feel bad that I thought that way of her. Um, I don't agree with everything she says. I don't agree with how necessarily she behaved in the first place. I wasn't a partier growing up. I didn't drink. I didn't smoke. I didn't do any of that. I didn't go to parties. Nothing like that. So she was saying things like a typical 14-year-old would do. That's so cute. She was saying things like a typical 14-year-old would do that. And I'm thinking to myself, I never did that. And I know lots of other girls who never did that. So, but I mean, things are different. Obviously, I was not a wealthy heiress like she was, and so, yeah, I didn't live in LA and Florida and stuff, so I realized that her life was very different than mine, but we just, if you don't want spoilers for this book, I would recommend it. If you don't want spoilers for this book, go skip ahead to, I'll put the time here where I stop talking about this. I'm also going to try and put chapters on this video, so hopefully I remember to do that. But she got taken advantage of as a young child, and by a teacher, first of all, and then an older guy as well when she was a teenager, and was the first one was inappropriate, and it did not involve actual rape. The second time did involve rape, and I just nobody should have to go through that, whether you're male, female, non-binary, whatever, and it doesn't matter how old you are. Nobody should have to go through that. And so um, I definitely, and she was talking about the sex tape that came out about her, and I definitely remember that whole scandal. And it never really occurred to me that she was underage when that video was taken. I guess as a teenager, I didn't think of that. And now as an adult, I'm like, oh my goodness, that, yeah. So it's really sad. It's really sad, and I hope she's doing well, and I hope that her life is better. She is around my age. She's, I think, 3 years younger than me, I think. So I hope she's doing well. But I hasten to say I'm enjoying this because I'm not, I'm not enjoying it. Seeing that her life was like this, I am getting clarification of how her life was and how I personally thought, and how things can be changed for media and paparazzi and stuff. And I realize it now as an adult. I realize it has been happening all along. And there's a lot of memoirs come out, like the Jeanette McCurdy book, I'm Glad My Mom Died, and a few others that have come out. The one about Sherry Frankie, is that her last name? And a few others have come out about how media is presenting them, and then you find out the truth, and it breaks my heart. So I'm gonna read this some more. I'm going to snuggle with Rosie a bit more. She's just zonked out, and then I'm gonna read. I think I'm gonna read the Jane Austen's bookshelf for a while and try and finish that book. But highly recommend this. Highly recommend the other two as well. So I will talk to you in a bit. Hi. So it's currently 11:30 a.m. on the 27th of February. This video has been going on forever, I swear. I'm so sorry about that. I'm almost done Jane Austen's bookshelf, and I did read about 10 pages of Agatha Christie's book, the Secret Notebooks, but I am going to crack down right now and finish this book. First of all, I have a Diet Coke Cherry, which I just went to buy a 12-pack of it. Why are they so expensive? This was like $11 for a 12-pack. I mean, at Walmart, they're only $8. Just saying. But anyways, let's do this and have a drink. Oh yeah, I love Diet Coke. So I've tried the Coke Zero, and I have tried the Diet Coke Cherry as well, but I don't remember which one I liked better, so we're going to try this. Yeah, this one's better. I knew it. I knew it had to be because I like Diet Coke better than Coke Zero, so yeah, that's good. Okay, so I'm going to drink that. I'm going to read. I'm bouncing on my camera's bouncing. I'm so sorry. I did read quite a bit, yes. Not quite a bit, but a little bit. I'm on page... Why is it so dark in here? That didn't help any. Okay, so I'm on page 298, and I think there's like 323 pages or something without the notes and appendix and everything, which I don't think I'm going to read. The bibliography, there's like tons of information here. Not really that interested in it. The appendix, I mean, I might read the appendix. That seems interesting. I'm just reading it. Sorry. I don't think I'll read it, but Wait, what is this? Selected books from the Jane Austen bookshelf. Okay. It just gives summaries and um, talking about the copies that she has in her book collection. Okay, so there's 325 pages. So I literally have 27 pages to read, and I'm going to knock it off right now. I'm going to do it right now. I don't have Rosie right now, so I'm just going to read. I am really enjoying it. Now, I do take quite a while to read a nonfiction because I like to absorb every word and just take it nice and slow and think about what I'm reading. This book is not like a bingeable book, I don't think. Maybe for some people it is, not for me. I'm just enjoying reading like 10-20 pages a day. I'm really enjoying that. And there is, of course, a lot of talk about Jane Austen's the woman that inspired Jane Austen, the women authors that have been forgotten, and I'm really enjoying that. And then on the other aspect, there's Rebecca Romney, the author, talks about her experience as a rare bookseller, a rare book dealer. And that's really interesting too, because she talks about how she finds books. She talks about what she paid for books, what's a good deal, which I wish I had the kind of money where I could spend $1,000 on a book. I don't. But anyways, that would be cool if I could get like a first edition for $1,000. She's like, it's only $1,000. I'm like, girl. Anyways, so I'm gonna finish reading this, and then there's yeah, it's just an interesting book. I'm really enjoying it. I would highly recommend if you're interested in this kind of thing. It's written, it's kind of like a textbook writing kind of thing, but it's not like in the way that there's a lot of facts, but it's not boring facts. It's not stuff that isn't needed. And there's a lot of talk about women's rights and women who have been forgotten that have stood up for women's rights and have written books proclaiming women's rights and feminist attitudes back in the 18th century. And I'm loving that. So there is some harsh things being talked about because these women back in the 18th century did not have rights and they were basically owned by their husbands. So there's a lot of talk about how they suffered and were basically they were made poor because of the men in their family had the control of the money and they just didn't treat them very well because they're women. So there's a lot of talk of that. There is talk of abuse and stuff like that as well in it, extramarital affairs, stuff like that. But it's not like to a point where it's disturbing, really. I mean, it's disturbing because it really did happen, but it's not like explicitly talked about. It's just mentioned basically, because these women suffered a lot, and some of them had to write just to be able to put food on their table for their like 12 kids and that kind of thing. So that's really rough, but I'm really liking this book. So I'm gonna go finish it, and I will talk to you in a while. Hi. Okay. So it is currently 3 p.m. the same day. It's like I think last time I talked to you it was like 11:30 or something. Yeah. Um. So immediately after recording the last clip, I got a package in the mail. You can see a little bit of it right there. But it will be revealed in a video coming up. It might be already out. I don't know when this video is going out. It's a whole thing. I've got so many files on my computer of different videos I'm working on. Anyways, hello. So, and then immediately after I got my package, Rosie came up because her mama had to leave. So I'm assuming work, I don't know, she had to leave for a few hours. So Rosie came up and she was very cuddly and was very, not real needy, but she just wanted some loving. So I loved on her and gave her kisses and she gave me kisses. It was wonderful. It was a moment, okay? And we had a lovely time just resting and snuggling, and it was just wonderful. I love that dog so much. But she is back downstairs with her mama because her mama came home. And, oh, hang on. There we go. I did finish Jane Austen's Bookshelf by Rebecca Romney. So I'm going to talk about it. There are no real spoilers in this, but I just want to talk about it. So I've told you the main premise of this book. Again, Rebecca is a book dealer, rare book dealer, and rare book collector, and she goes through her process of collecting first editions, as well as how this whole Jane Austen's Bookshelf idea came up in the first place, her journey through collecting and reading so many books from authors that inspired Jane Austen to write. And Jane Austen does mention, apparently, I haven't read her novels. I know, am I really a reader? I haven't read Jane Austen. But apparently, she mentions in a few books that some of the books that inspired her. So that got Rebecca Romney excited, and she started searching for those books, and she found out that there are, I think, 40 or 50 years where, like, none of the women writers who wrote novels, I mean, they're all gone. Like, nobody knows about them. They're all forgotten. So, yeah, it was really interesting. We learned about a lot of authors. I now want to go onto the public domain site. I forget what site it is, but I mean, I could look on Kindle, but I want to read some of these books because I'm very interested in now learning the backstory of everyone. It was beautiful, really good, really well written, really well researched, and very. I mean, it's kind of nerdy, because you're discussing books. So if I mean, obviously, if you watch this channel, you do love books, but it's really good. I really enjoyed it. I forget everything I was gonna say now. Like as soon as I turn on the camera, I totally forgot everything I was gonna say. I had some really intelligent thoughts, okay, but now they're just gone. I would recommend this book. I am going to give it 5 stars. I really think this was a well written book, and it was very interesting. Like I said, I want to read more of Jane Austen as well as the books that inspired her. There's a lot of feminist rage in these books from these women in the 18th century, and women are baddies. Just saying, women are baddies, and it's wonderful. And it's awful the way they were treated because they were of the lesser gender, and it's horrible. And I know, like, in 2026, there is still a lot of work to be done in um, women's rights, especially as far as the STEM field. There's a lot of women in STEM who don't get paid as much as their male counterparts and colleagues, and that's very frustrating. And a lot of times, the women in these STEM careers are doing more than just what they are trained to do because they are women. So it sucks. It's really hard. But I mean, compared to what compared to the 18th century, we're doing pretty darn good. So that's really good. One thing I totally 100% disagree with is there's a line in this book where Rebecca says that everyone has lied about reading a book that they haven't read before. I've never done that. As far as I know, I've never said I've read a book when I haven't read one. Is that a thing? Do people actually do that? Because I don't agree with her. She says she definitely has, and that everyone has done that. I maybe. I mean, I don't know. I've never done that. If I haven't read a book, I admit it. I'm not ashamed of that. So I don't get why she said that, but anyways, um 5 out of 5. Really enjoyed it. Get this book if you are nerdy about classics. And I am not well versed in classics. I've watched some of the movies adaptations, but I'm not well versed in classics, and I would like to be. So, but there's just so many books to read. I don't know where to find the time. But I do want to go on to like Kindle or the public domain site. I forget what it's called, but there's a site on. Oh, I almost had it. But there's a site on the web. There's a website. I can talk. There's a website that has all the public domain books. So I kind of want to read some of these that she talked about. I think the one I'm interested the most is the books by, forget her full name, but Piozzi. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Hang on. What is her name? Do we have an index? That'd be wonderful if we have an index. Do we have an index? Remember when books used to have indexes? I don't know if they do. I mean, there aren't many books anymore that do have indexes. Oh, we have an index. Yay. Okay. I'm interested in Anne Radcliffe. I'm interested in Jane Austen, of course. Hester Lynch Thrale Piozzi. She was from 1741 to 1821. And I found her story really interesting. I'm not going to go into much about it because it's spoiler for that. But her life story was beautiful, and it enraged me and got me really upset for the way she was treated because she simply fell in love. And yeah, with a man, she wasn't like a lesbian or anything. I mean, not that being a lesbian is bad, I don't mean it that way, but I mean, like, it wasn't socially, like, it wasn't illegal, um, who she fell in love with. It was just everybody judged her for who she fell in love with. You know what I mean? Um, and then Frances Burney I'd be interested in reading too. She's from 1752 to 1840, and Anne Radcliffe is from 1764 to 1823. And the other ones they talked about were Charlotte Lennox, Hannah More, Charlotte Smith, Elizabeth Inchbald, and Maria Edgeworth. So there you go. Very much looking forward to reading some of those books someday. Maybe I'll do a video on it. Would that be interesting to you guys? Do you think? Would you like that? We'll see. Yeah. 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna go and put this on Goodreads and on my spreadsheets. And then I'm gonna read some more. I still have the Agatha Christie, the Secret Notebooks or whatever it's called. And then I think I introduced another ebook in earlier on in this video, by Paris Hilton. I believe I talked about it in this video, so I want to finish that one as well so that I can get this video up. But it'll probably be another couple of weeks before I finish them, so yeah. Alright, I'll talk to you later. I'll catch up with you in a little while. Oh, okay. My mouse wasn't moving. Okay, now I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, so that video was kind of chaotic. I apologize. I know I repeated myself a lot in what I said. I know the volume wasn't great. I'm so sorry. But I hope you enjoyed it. I, of course, in the last bit said that I was going to come back the next day with the next book. But I'm just going to end the video here and just make it mostly about the Jane Austen's bookshelf. And as you saw, I did talk quite a bit about Paris Hilton as well. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And I would recommend Jane Austen's bookshelf to any book lover, anybody who enjoys classics, or just enjoy learning about historical women who have been forgotten. Thank you very much for watching. God bless you all. Bye.